April 23, 1951, Barbara Johns, the 16-year-old niece of civil rights leader Vernon Johns, led a walkout by African-American high school students at the all-black R.R. Moton High School in Farmville, Virginia, to protest deplorable conditions there. In 1954, the U.S. Supreme Court heard the case, Davis v. County School Board of Prince Edward County, as part of Brown v. Board of Education. A statue of Barbara Johns has been built on the grounds of the state capitol in Richmond, and the Ninth Street office building, where the Virginia Attorney General's offices are housed, has been named after her. This year, Virginia celebrated its first ever Barbara Johns Day. Richard Wright's memoir, Black Boy, went to top of the bestseller list in 1945. Photo, special to the Clarion Ledger, April 23, 1963. Klansman Floyd Simpson was believed to have killed William Lewis Moore, a postman from Baltimore, in Atala, Alabama, during his one-man march against segregation. Moore had planned to deliver a letter to Mississippi Gov. Ross Barnett that read, "I have always had a warm place in my heart for Mississippi, the land of my childhood and ancestors. I dislike the reputation this state has acquired as being the most backward and bigoted in this land. Those who truly love Mississippi must work to change this image. The white man cannot be truly free himself until all men have their rights. Each is dependent upon the other." Moore is among 40 martyrs listed on the Civil Rights Memorial in Montgomery, Alabama. April 24, 1960, a mob attacked protesters, including Drive. Gilbert Mason, with iron pipes and chains after they walk onto whites-only Biloxi Beach. Police attacked and arrested protesters. By the time dawn broke, more than 20 African Americans had been injured. Before the violence ended that week, 2 young African American men had been killed. April 25, 1898, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled there is no racial discrimination in Mississippi's 1890 Constitution, which required all voters to pay poll taxes and pass literacy tests. This ruling came despite public discussion by the framers of the state constitution on how to maintain white supremacy by disenfranchising African Americans. Many southern states followed Mississippi's lead. April 25, 1959, 3 days before his scheduled trial, Mac Charles Parker, a 23-year-old African-American truck driver, was lynched by a hooded mob of white men in Poplarville, Mississippi. Parker had been accused of raping a pregnant white woman and was being held in a local jail. The mob took him from his cell, beat him, took him to a bridge, shot and killed him, then weighed his body down with chains and dumped him in the river. FBI agents identified at least 10 men involved, but the all-white state grand jury refused to indict. Parker is among 40 martyrs listed on the Civil Rights Memorial in Montgomery, Alabama. April 26, 1964, the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party was organized by civil rights activists to challenge the all-white regular delegation to the Democratic National Convention. The party's work helped lead to changes in both the Democratic and Republican parties. Leslie B. McLemore was a leader in the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party with Fannie Lou Hamer. He also served as interim Jackson mayor after the death of Mayor Frank Melton, as well as the interim president of Jackson State University. Now retired, he lives in Walls. Photo, freedom50.org. April 27, 1903, W.E.B. Du Bois' book, The Souls of Black Folk, was published. In it, Du Bois rejected the gradualism advocated by Booker T. Washington and called for active resistance to racist policies. He died on August 27, 1963, the eve of the March on Washington. April 28, 1951, Ruby Hurley opened the first permanent office of the NAACP in the South. Her introduction to civil rights activism began when she helped organize Marian Anderson's 1939 concert at the Lincoln Memorial. 4 years later, she became National Youth Secretary for the NAACP. She helped investigate lynchings across the South and received many threats, including a bombing attempt on her home. In 1956, she left Birmingham for Atlanta after Alabama barred the NAACP from operating. She served as a mentor for Vernon Jordan and retired 2 years before dying in 1980. In 2009, she appeared on a postage stamp. In 2009, the U.S. Postal Service unveiled stamps honoring civil rights pioneers, including Alla Baker and Ruby Hurley. Photo, special to the Clarion Ledger, April 29, 1945, the memoir by Richard Wright, son of a sharecropper from Roxie, Mississippi, about his upbringing, Black Boy, became the top-selling book in the U.S. He was the first African-American author to see his work sold through the Book of a Month Club. His novel, Native Son, was turned into a play on Broadway, directed by Orson Welles. He became friends with other writers, including Ralph Ellison in Harlem and Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus in Paris. His works played a role in changing white Americans' views on race. More. Justice and Legacy Museum opens in Montgomery. More. Smithsonian Director tours Mississippi Civil Rights Museum. Reader share the story. https://www.clarinledger.com/story/news/local/journito justice/2018/04/23/civil-rights-history-april-23-through-29/54277-4002/.